So today's Christmas movie is from the year 1940. It stars Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck, and it is called Remember the Night. Barbara Stanwyck plays Lee Leander. She is a troubled woman, a bad girl. She has a little shoplifting problem. Fred McMurray plays John Sargent, and he just happens to be a prosecutor. She gets caught for shoplifting, and he is prosecuting her right before Christmas. Basically, he asks for a continuance so her trial gets held over to the new year because he believes that juries are more sympathetic right before Christmas, and he could tell that they were going to let her off and he was going to stick it to her. And then he feels bad about that decision to do that to her, so he basically gets her bailed out for Christmas, and one thing leads to another, and she ends up going back home with him for Christmas with his family because she doesn't have one, basically. And yes, this is one of those stories where a love of a good man can set a bad woman straight. She's not bad. She just never had love. So yes, that does mean the week that they spend together from Christmas to New Year's, they fall in love, the prosecutor and the criminal. It is a very cute story. It is played, I think, pretty realistically, especially for 1940. It does have some of, the more fantastical things in it that you're like, that would never happen in real life. But, movies are nothing if they're not a hyper stylized reality. And Barbara Stanwyck and Fred McMurray make a great pairing in this movie. This movie was also written by Preston Sturgess and directed by Mitchell Leeson. And besides being, where he takes her home, it has sort of a road trip element in it through part of the section. And it has a New York City element in it because she and he live in New York City. So he's a prosecutor in New York City, and she's basically a shoplifter in New York City. And of course, Barbara Stanwyck's character dresses very nicely for somebody who is supposed to be a down on her luck sort of shoplifter person, but she is dressed to the nines for the whole thing. We're not even talking about, where they're in 1940s where people were still dressed up, but they were supposed to be, small-time criminals. She is dressed really, really nice for somebody whose profession is shoplifting and she has no money. But that is 1940s film for you. So, of course, Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck, this is not the only movie they do together. I believe they did 4 movies together, but the most famous is, of course, Double Indemnity. So I've seen this movie a few times. This is the first time I've watched it in a few years. I caught it first on TCM several years ago, as I catch a lot of older movies there, and I found it to be a really good movie. It is very well rated. It's a holiday romance that isn't too sentimental like a Hallmark movie. I mean, the lead characters are a prosecutor and a criminal that he's prosecuting. So, and Barbara Stanwyck's character's backstory is a little heartbreaking. It ends in a good, happy story where the two people get together. If you have never seen 1940s Remember the Night with Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck, you should definitely check it out. It is a great Christmas movie. It goes along well with watching things like Miracle on 34th Street or It's a Wonderful Life. It deserves a place with them for you to watch your holiday season. But thank you all again for joining me. Thank you to all my subscribers. I'm almost to 65 subscribers, which again, I will tell you, I know it's not a lot, but it means a lot to me, everybody who subscribes to this. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, join the community, leave me a comment, like the video. It all helps me out. And I love y'all, and see you next time.